Okay, thank you. Yeah, I became a passion test facilitator while I was still a lawyer, which was interesting. But I used it on all my clients and everybody I talked to. I used the principles of what I wanted out of the relationship. And I'm a firm believer in the law of attraction and setting intentions. I'm a firm believer that what you think about is what you get. So the benefit of a vision board is that and my approach is a little different than the goal-oriented approach, but the benefit of having a vision board is you have something to focus on that reminds you of what you want every day, not what you don't want. There's so many reminders out there in the world of what we don't want. So so the first class that I have, the passion test, is really, if you're familiar with The Secret or there's a lot of movies about the law of attraction. There's a lot written about the law of attraction. There's a lot of quantum books about the law of attraction. But basically what I'm going to do in the first class is help people understand how to get clear on what they want, because that's one of the biggest hurdles to get over is, okay, let's not focus on what you don't want. Let's focus on what you want in your life, what would make your life wonderful. And let's get it down to 5 easy phrases. And then let's go collect images that support those phrases, and let's put them on a board. So you have your simple list that starts out with, my life is ideal when you have 5 things you'd love to have in your life. And then you have, at the end, you have this or something more to allow the universe to step in and help you get what you want, allow your subconscious to get involved. And then the first class will be helping get clear on your intentions and setting them out, getting your mind around, okay, what do I want to collect for my vision board? And I'll go into some means of collection of images. I've taught this class in a gallery in a studio where I brought in all the magazines and the glue and the boards and all that. And I wanted to create a virtual vision board class because, number 2, I really want simplicity in my life, and I don't want to be carrying around a lot of art supplies. That's why I teach iPhone artistry. But the other thing is I want to reach more people, and doing it virtually, I had to get my mind around, okay, how am I going to help people collect images in the same way they might if they're sitting in a room and tearing pages out of magazines? So the second class will be learning a couple of apps to refine those images, to make them prettier, to edit them, to crop them down to where they'll be useful on your board. So then when in the third class, we'll actually be putting the board together in an app called iColorama, where we'll be able to stack images, move them around, just as if you were laying them down with your hands and moving them around. We'll be able to move them around on the computer. And so that's the way the class will work. Kind of the first part is just getting into it, getting real about setting intentions, because people are able to manifest. The people that were in my class, I've taught it for 3 years in a row now in the gallery I'm in, and people that were in my class 1, 2, 3 years ago have contacted me every year and said, is there going to be another class? I can't believe it. I'm doing everything that's on my board. I need to create a new board. So and that's just no lie. It's even if you don't look at it every day. I have one on the refrigerator. I have I have the index cards with my passions in my car, and look at them occasionally. I have them sometimes, on my wallpaper on my computer. And I don't have to intentionally try to make it work. I just have to intentionally get what I want. That's all I have to focus on. I don't have to figure out how I'm going to do it. So I'm going to take you through, I'm going to share my screen and just, I'll certainly be happy to take questions. I'm going to share my screen if it comes up here. Here it comes. This is the way I do a class. And I'm going to take you into the album I created for this class, just to show you a bit of what I'll be talking about in the class. These are some images from a class I did in a gallery that people worked on. They really get into this stuff. I mean, it's a serious prospect of laying out your future, laying out the future that you want. And then, they came up with some just amazing boards. And I have heard from at least 3 of them from the class last year that they are amazed and astounded that the things that they put on their board, have come to pass, and they want another class. I tell people how to collect images because a lot of people can't figure it out. you know, I'll tell them something like, well, go to the internet and put in there, what does passion look like? That's how I came up with some things for my board. Or what does health look like? Or what does social justice look like? And that's how, you know, I'm preparing for the class too, where I came up with images like this. You know, if you want better relationships or good family relationships, I came up with, you know, if you want to move forward, if you want to move upward, if you want, you know, to be successful, move to another level, images like, you know, this kind of thing. I went into, you know, to what does, this came from, what does love look like? What does passion look like? I pulled all these things from the internet, and then you know, I looked for definitions of words. What does courage say? So that people would have an idea of words to put on their boards. So these are the kinds of things that I help them collect. What I wanted grace. I wanted grace on my list of things that I wanted more of. So I looked for images that emulated grace. And, you know, we're not taking these, we're not stealing people's images that we're going to go sell our boards. These boards are for us. I wanted creativity. So I said, what does creativity look like? And these are the kinds of images that came up. And I used one of them, you know, one of them in my board. What does positivity look like? I looked up the definition. I found images online. Then I thought, well, some people are into social, oh, this is the book, by the way. The Passion Test is a proven tool, a book. There's a website where you can actually go take a test. You answer some simple questions, and you'll get feedback on whether you have what you love in your life, or whether it would be helpful for you to focus on it. And I'm, you know, the Passion Test, I totally believe in it. I asked the web, what does passion look like? And so I got a sign, you know, I pulled from it, commitment. And, you know, I got some really neat sayings that I could put on my board. I became a great grandma last week, and this is my great granddaughter, Amelia Beth Burgess Grimm. I wanted them on my board. I wanted my grandson and my granddaughter because I wanted improved relations. They live far away, and I wanted to make sure that I improve, you know, that beneficial and happy relations with even far away distant relatives were good. And so here is the board I eventually came up with, is right here. And this is what we'll end up, you know, and mine is about passion and love right now, because of course I'm reveling in being a great grandma, especially in light of everything that happened last week. But it might be about success. It might be about business success. So then I thought, well, maybe, you know, if somebody's interested in social justice, becoming more involved, what does that look like? So I went to the web, and, you know, I just pulled all these images that I could use in something like that. You know, I come from the law, so something like this will catch my eye. This would make a great image for what I call smooshing, because it's got definite black and white area. And if I put another image behind this or around it, I could fit all kinds of things around this, or in these trays, I can show people how to move things around to accomplish that. And, you know, then I went in and said, what does health look like? And then I went from my own pictures, which I'll tell people, you know, take your own pictures. This was a birthday gift. It was a bowl with a candle and with some persimmons in it. And then, you know, I got some birthday wishes that had some things that had a really good feeling in them. I took a picture of a rock and made some art. I said, what does health look like? And then, you know, so images started coming up. So that's really the gist of what the class is going to be, is where do I start? And I want some of this, you know, and I'm going to help people figure out where to start and where to end up with it, so that they have a board that they can look at, you know, they can look back at a year or two from now. They can immediately, I think, start to feel a change within, when they are focused on creating, not focused on complaining or feeling bad or feeling down. I mean, I'm a firm believer that every minute you are in the state of creativity, you are not in the state of negativity. So there you go. If you have any questions, I'm happy to answer any questions that you have. And I'm going to take my screen off so it's not distracting.
So Beth, where do you keep your vision board?
I have one on my refrigerator. It's right over there. I see it every time I open the refrigerator. And then I have one down in my art room. on the wall. And then, like I said, I have my passion cards in various places around the house and on my computer. My 5 passions this time were, they were very simple. They were, improved family relationships with relatives who live further away. They were more passion in everything, getting a chance to fulfill my own passion in creativity, which is happening a lot with the teaching I'm able to do. Things like that. And those were images that I put on my board. I wanted more grace and gratefulness in my life. So that's why I found images, that talked about grace. So I had 5 things identified. It gave me focus on what to look for in the web, and it gave me focus to what to put on the board. With this particular board, you can send an image to Staples for $9.99, and you can get a 12 by 18 photo print on cardstock, print on foam insulation board. You can stick it up on your refrigerator, and you're reminded every day of it. That's the place where we seem to visit the most, I think, especially now during COVID. I'd say that's the most open door in my house. But anyway, so you can get them reprinted. You can use them for wallpaper. If you have it for your lock screen on your phone, every day you're just going to be reminded, oh yeah, this is more of what I want in my life. Wherever you can put it up, you can get little 4x6 images of it and post them up everywhere. I have, some weeks I don't look at things and focus on them, but I always have them somewhere where I have to pass by them.
Very cool. So is the first class structured more like self-reflection?
The first class, what I will do is talk a little bit about how the passion test works and help. Like I said, what I do in a facilitation, when I meet with somebody, the first meeting, I have them bring a list of all the things they would love to have in their life. I don't, when I get ready for this class, when I know who's going to be into it, that's what I will do. I will send them out some instruction to bring a list of things they love to do in their life. And then we'll talk about how to hone those down into statements that are easy to grasp, because the human mind can only hang on to about 5 thoughts at once. So that's why we bring it down to 5. So, and then I'll have them write those on a card, and then I will I'll take an example of one of the ones I wrote and show them how to go to the web or their own photos, or how to go out in nature and collect our items that support those passions. I'm going to get them on the path to do that before the second class. And then I will introduce the apps in the second class. There's 3 apps that I teach that are pretty straightforward. And I will tell them what I want you to do is pull some images. And then in the next class, I'll send you a demo image of, say, some writing, a page with some writing, or some things that need to be filtered out or edited. And I'll show you how to do that. And then I'll have you each work with some of your own images, and we can talk individually. You can show me on your screen what you're doing, or share your screen and ask questions. It'll be an interactive, oh, these are my passions and this supports it. How do I find something, what are some ideas? And the classes and DJs and some of my classes, that other people are full of ideas, and there's so much synergy that happens when you have a group together. So it will be an interactive. I'll show you how to do a couple things with the images you've collected. If you need to collect more, we'll talk about that. We'll hear what some other people in the class did, and help you get on board for the last class. And then in the last class, I'll take you into iColorama. I'll have you put all your pictures into an album on your phone or your iPad, whatever you're working on, that you can pluck from. And I'll show you how to pull up a board and where to go from there, in bringing one image in at a time, and being able to, move it around or get it where you want, and bring in another image and work around the one you already have, and that kind of thing. So the third class will be all hands-on. Let's take what you have collected and put it together. And if you have any questions about how to do that, let's share screens and talk about it. This is a new class for me, because I have a classroom for my iPhone artistry classes where people can deposit images that they have. But since we're going to be working along to get to a final image, I don't want to put pressure on people to try to put things in there before they're to the point where they actually have a vision board to share. So, but I will, the last class, will be, now let's put it on a board, and if you want to show yours, let's go around the room and see what people are coming up with.
kind of a perfect class for digital. You were saying at the beginning of the call that it was a class that you had done in a gallery with stacks of magazines, probably lots of glue and scissors. And kind of the nice thing about digital is that you can find basically any image on the internet.
Yes, you can. And it helps to have somebody directing you that knows about sizing, because images you pick off the internet are pretty small. So it helps to think about if you want to collect some photos and things like that that you'll take with your phone, which will have more higher resolution. Those are all the things I'll talk about in collecting images that people don't understand, you know, just to give them a better understanding of where to collect from and why, and all the possibilities. But yeah, you know, you can go to the grocery store, you can pull magazines out of your own. I have, you know, boxes of magazines for my class. I can pull them out, start taking pictures. I buy books at the book sale at the library. I can take those out and start taking pictures of text. I have books that have calligraphy in them. You know, I have music sheets. I buy old music sheets when I go to the library book sale, take pictures of those. Didier was in a class this week where we worked. Do you want to say anything about that, about combining images with text, Didier? He's still eating lunch. Probably still hiding. Anyways, I call it smooshing, putting images together, but you can put images in text, and if you have some sense of resolution, you might collect from one place as opposed to collecting from another. Like I could pull a music sheet from the web, but the resolution would be so low that if I scrunched it up to make it big, it wouldn't be decipherable. But if I take a picture of a music sheet from a music book, I can make it look antique. I can make it colored. I can make it watercolory. I can do whatever I want to do with it. So that's how I help people figure out where to gather their images.
Beth, I have a couple questions. How often do you change your vision board, and do you keep some ideas and put them on your new vision board?
That's a good question. Absolutely. If you have a tactile vision board, you can always glue more images on top over the areas. What in the passion test, what we do is we reassess every so often where we are on that particular passion, like between 1 and 10. If we're at a 10, then we have other ones that pop up that we put more at the bottom of the list. And it'll be the same with this vision board with what we create. You will have that. You can always put it back into iColorama, or there's Procreate. There's other ways to do it, but this happens to be an iPad apps class. And you can put things over top of where you are. If something really came to pass, you know, 3 or 4 weeks from now, or you want to bring a different passion up on your list, you can change it any time. For me, I always people ask me to do these classes mid-year. I honestly feel like people are more in the frame of mind of setting intentions at the beginning of the year. So I like to do them in December or January to set your intentions. You know, people make resolutions on New Year's Eve. It seems like the appropriate time if I haven't done it in between, or but as far as your board is concerned, if we're walking by it 6 months from now, you go, whoa, you know, I didn't realize I'd be doing this and that. I want to add another passion to this. You can modify it anytime.
Okay. And what day of the week and time is your class?
It's on, let's see, I think it's on Mondays from 4 to 5:30 on December 1st, 8th, and 15th.
Tuesdays.
It's on Tuesdays.
Tuesday 4 to 5:30.
Yeah. Tell me, Allie. Tuesdays 4 to 5:30.
I just put a link into the chat, Judith. If you go into the chat, there's a link right in the in there. If you click on it, it'll bring you to the class.
Okay. Yeah. Unfortunately, I'm using my iPhone today. I'm usually using my iPad, but so everything's really small.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. I get confused because I'm doing different kind of classes at different places. But yeah, thanks for clarifying that, Allie. I'm looking it up now too.
If you go to our website and go to classes.
Yeah, I'll find it. I'll find it. Yeah, it sounds really interesting.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. I can tell you from the source. It is December 1st through the 15th. That's the 1st, 8th, and 15th at 4 to 5:30 p.m. And I thought that was a Monday. Is that not a Monday?
It should. I think let's see here.
I have other school on Tuesday, so I don't usually, but you know.
Yeah, it's Tuesday, the 1st.
Oh, okay, then it's the right day. Yes, thank you.
If you need to change, let me know.
No, I don't need to change it. I'll keep it, you know, consistent. I try to set my classes up so I don't have 2 or 3 at the same time, but you know, I'm human. Yes, for
So
safety.
Beth, I have a question. So making this visual, putting it maybe on the fridge, you see it more often, you have more emotional tie-in because you visualized it. But still, how do you make it? So it's a lot better than writing those in a notebook on the cover page and then forgetting about them. But how do you then make them happen?
Well, that's a good question, because you don't have to make them happen. And that's one of the things we talk about in the first class is you don't need to focus on a goal and say, okay, I need to do this and this and this to get there. You just need to get clear on what you want. And then if you don't look at it every day, just have it somewhere where you can pull it out once in a while and look. And people will find, for the most part, that once they've put focus on putting this board together and getting the intentions written down somewhere, they're in there. They're in their mind. And that, you know, the subconscious is really good at pulling forth the things that are meaningful. I don't know how else to put that. They can help your conscious mind by having something to focus on, because your conscious mind is, you know, woo, all over the place, but your subconscious is a better area of focus. So even if you're not looking at it every day, you know, it still is there. You did it. You know, if it's like you said, you know, I want to get a dog. It's going to be in your mind. You want to get a dog, but you may not know where or when. You may help that happen by going down to the pound today, or you may say, you know, universe, I really want this kind of a dog. This is the kind of dog I'm looking for. And I can almost guarantee you that if you get clear on what you want, somebody's going to come along and say, hey, I know this family that wants to, needs a home for this dog. It's going to happen. And you didn't have to make it happen. That's the part on writing in the card, this or something more, because we will limit ourselves. We have limited beliefs in what we can do and what we can achieve and what we can have. And that's limited based on what we know about ourselves today, what we think we can do, but we don't have any idea of what might end up on our plate. So we want to open up the door to the possibilities just by getting clear on what we want. We don't need to sit down and figure out, okay, in order to get this, I have to get this. Why? So I'm not going to ask for this. Yeah, it's a good question. It isn't about what making it happen. It's about letting it happen. Anybody else?
Well, we're recording this meeting, so I hope to have it up online tomorrow or Thursday. So feel free to watch it again, share it. The link for the class is in the chat, or you can email me. My email is Ally, A-L-Y, @pacificartleague.org. I'm happy to help you with registration with this class or others. And I'm hoping to take this vision board class. I'm really excited.
Yeah, if you go to BethGrimmCreativeArts.com, you'll kind of get inspired of what you can do. A lot of people have no idea what they can do with their iPhone or iPad. It's like, okay, I can take a picture and, you know, I can punch a button and some app is going to give me a beautiful picture. But creating, it's much more fun to be able to understand the apps in a way that you can take a photograph and you can create what your vision was when you took the photograph. It isn't limited to what's in the photograph. So there might be some inspiration there too, and you can also learn a little bit more about me if you want to.
Yeah, I agree. I've been taking the class. It's I think for any visual artist nowadays, being able to edit, change, photograph is so important a skill. It's been a eye opener for me, like a whole new dimension, really.
Thank you, DJ. It's a nice testimonial. I didn't even have to ask for it. DJ and some other people in my class got it revived because they're like anything else. sometimes there's not enough enrollment, and a couple people went out and said, hey, you know, do this. It's really fun. So that I'll put that out to you. It's really fun.
Beth, speaking of
Perfect.
enrollment, how many people do you expect in this class? I mean, it could be as low as, I think the minimum is 4 or 5.
You know, it's a class that I love doing, so I'll do it no matter how many people sign up. And then it's also a precursor to, I will do another one in January. You know, this is like a lot of times you're kind of my guinea pigs on this because I've never done a virtual vision board class before. I had to really tax my brain on how can I make this work. So I will do it. If there's one student, I'll do it. I'll work with them because I get excited about it. And Allie, you might be it.
I might be it. You might be learning a lot about me.
Yeah, same here.
So you are going to do this class again in January?
Well, I want to offer it again, but I don't know with the school. There's a limitation on the number of classes we can offer. So
Sure.
I might have to do it as a workshop. The thing is, I find if I do a 6-hour session in one day, if I do, I mean, an hour and a half a week for 3 weeks, people have time to digest and collect. It's not like we can bring in all our supplies and do it all one day. So,
Yeah.
I'll try to offer something that is similar that I can work with the school in the number of limitations on the classes. But I definitely will be offering it other, you know, I don't want to direct anybody anywhere else, but it is a passion of mine to help people identify their passions. So I'll make it happen as possibly as I can with PAL.
Okay. Okay.
But
Thank you.
I would say, you know, this is a better time to be sure you're going to get this particular version of it.
Yeah, I just have to find out if I'm on jury duty or not.
Bummer. How's a lawyer? They would make me go sit in the room until the last, you know, at the very end, I'd always get excused, but they'd still make me come in and sit there. Even in one case where I had been co-counsel on one of the attorneys with somebody on another case, they made me sit there the whole day before they dismissed me.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, I've been on 2 juries, so maybe it's 3 strikes you're out for me. That's what I'm hoping.
Yeah. Well, service is good. I'll leave it at that too. It's a good
Okay.
thing to do.
I was
Yeah.
going to say that'd be, you can add that to your passion board, not getting another jury.
No more jury
Well,
duty.
the one
Yeah.
thing I'll tell you in the very first class is don't put anything in terms of not, because that gets you focused on what you don't want. So yeah, I'll make that clear right up front. We
Yeah.
focus on what we want.
I was thinking about that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Wonderful. Thank you, everyone. Thank you
Yeah.
for
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you.
Everybody. Thank you.
Bye. Thank you.
Have a great